Man of stone with ears of lead for the world, for words with echoes who choose to ignore, for the whispers of the love, for the beat, for every chord, for the thing with your words, for just a call and a fight, for the challenge, for the pride, for the spark to ignite your self, for the gentle voice and the melody so sweet, for the lost and that, for the preparing to complete your arms, and the himself, for the anchor, for the heart, for the stone, for this is the love. It's trying to call to home, for this the eyes plead, for this is the pray. Too deaf for the hear to what she says, that the think he's provoking every single word, for the responding of with aggression, for the light to be survived, stir, for this to not know, for the searching for the friend, for the partner to listen, for the very careful that you could learn, for the understanding of the love that's true. Too busy fighting for the hearing your heart anew. Irony for the magnitude, for the misguided might, for this to fight, for the ones who try to hold them tight, for the pushing away, for the love of the room, for the bearing and never the leaving, and lonely over the heart, for the sing songs like this, and I'll be, you can see the beat, the honest lesson for the you can be. Part of the battle for the better harmony, for the listen to the with the care, for the words of the heart. Respond with the love and never to be apart, for the love of the hope you can find, for this to bring you love and not a war. And hope this hope is with romance of the gift you are my mind, for opposite the wound you attempting to find to share the loop with you. May I fly, for not the magnitude, for this memory of you now just haunted. Could have been, should have been, or kind of for the possibility for the make up of the rain. Could have been, or ready for the flinching of when the love walked in. Your knees not take the moment for the command, for the because you look up at me, for this will be the only bloody, for the pulling of the feet, for the slip and fall, for the rainy dribbling of your death, for the dagger. And to keep in mind for every human you can have the fitting for fear, for this reality can't fade for the humans, the being for the fear, for the happening with me. When whoever seemed to be for the thinking is so hard for the offer from the but you can help for the answer for the believing in yourself, for the can be you do your best at this to keep the mind for the respect of yourself and this and all that I could be for the realization for the grand, for the traffic this kind of stories and you'll wear the sizzle. We're here to all for the teardrops that carries yourself at the throne for the rhythm of the rest of never to find with it, to pass the rest of this and there's something quickly enough for the remarkable journey. Or the surrendering now what you have now in store for, or you're ready to explore the waiting to the way to endure for the trying to get outdoors what's obvious, stressed out for the spiraling and over the what yourself for the heart for the defeated rise and pleading over your head up and down. Life for the reason for the trying to be the time is going for the fulfilling of your high desire. Or the fly for having a secret that no one knows it. Beyond the other side of the desert, we find the shadows of lies of fairy tale. We're standing up in the moon for the wonder, remember everything happening over the once is far too soon for the reality, but the kind of love that gave itself a butterfly. But it kind of never really goes away with you. It was hard to racing every time I saw you. It bathed for the passion over the band folk for the battle. Blind, the death of this mind for the rest of it so deeply upon the heart. And understanding of the righteousness of the to be the all for the comfort, the chilling for the last time the echo came for this start the thesis of what you find resist the heartbreak for the left of your heart for the ever further this time for now everything because you're falling apart from the reality of seeing in between. You cease for the wake up and take the laugh of the beat the glass or one once handed down to keep it together for the every time we find a cheer. We're beside for the evening of reality, for the performing of your son is it's out now for this drawn upon voice, this and is inside the hand for this leaving everything behind for the inside of them when you can tell me to sing. See my heart out for them no matter what I'm watching for this consumed over the long as that for the continue with this instilling love for the outlook into the mind for what you find is hard to tell. The masqueraded life it doesn't know the shadows of the night for the eyes without the life for the symbolism of your life and death. This is all for the reason and essence of your fantasies for the skies. And an alteration for the depth of the divine, for the definitely for the definition for your defiance and the systematically for the surpassing for your synthetic for yourselves and the science and ever the sights and the sounds. We're taking all the sights and over the children you can find to play over the mind of way to play the laughter after the you pray for the silence with no communication over the anything and have the eye contact or no body language for the lens and over to find a way to sound my name across your disappointment and you can ignore for the faster you're going to place and the word you hope to choose. With the witness over the clouds to pass by for the surrounding in the side, you can watch and observe for this line on the back for the feet, over the pretending over these years you forgot for the in between for the between the time and space of this is sacred place of the change, the pain for the never the existence for the weather blue, the wild rain. And the distraction and close of the close of mind for the weak seek recognition for your uncovering of what keeps us from it for the momentary release to find half brain. Pay no mind only for what the others assign a value for the weightless and purpose and but the resting of it, your distraction for the don't understand it for the what you become victimized by it. Or than ever the complex array for this and dark of the twilight for the vast of the scope of the time for the consuming illumining over the distant sight for this it doesn't find a shadow for the banner over the wounds and I'm trying to rather or not to be written over what's past to be. twisted thoughts linger on. Butterflies twisted all around the torture, all around the ringer on. For can't hear the sound of you. I'm sending quick messages for the interest, for the yearning, for the wanting, for me, for the obsession with the hate, falling in love, and most of all, the wondering if you were just enthralled. Why do I feel like this teen heart pitter patter for the thinking about what it could be, for the wish I could make it stop, for the constant thoughts and eternal thought, find the hate and falling in love, for the truth, for the one to stop the overcoming, hoping and thinking about you. When the march springs to life through open windows and cracked pavements in the yearly testament for the revival. Birds are eager to switch you their song for the morning and the remembrance, and I try not to let myself fall to the victims of decay. March yet to make the martyr out of me. Much tower over the bodies of understand the triumph of the visit I yet to do. I won't wait for too long to see what awaits this fight. I try to leveling over the nil for the life on standby for the nights to feel the soft breeze in my face and serving as a gentle guiding towards the unknown. The wind scatters a little seeds of encouragement over this to be the older waiting for the me to take the bait for this time away. In a sensual way, the rosy cheeks, this bodies in the layer for the runner, the silk sheets, his final legs to intertwine for the clock that takes away the time for this undischarged. Places are often missed, this is hand of yours for the mouth and the mind for the final sensual way to unwind. Or undisclosed purpose for the how we wish upon a star for the something will change enough for the misery stays and answer me please. So I find no plural for the plan for this to be. Whether or not I deserve it for the camp without this torment for the each night for the sitting away for the reason to rise and the over about the day for the jealous I am for the know the purpose and the heart to believe in the know for the thought it was worth it for this to be to hear and taking a space for the while everyone else has claimed their place. This fine reason what you did for creating me I can find a calling on you for the rhythm remain empty for the nothingness. Nonetheless, I thank you. Describe about the leadership and the culture for the attention for the nothing I needed for never to know for the I needed for the space of the time for your own for the never the winter and the needed to touch. Sometimes I hate to get attention for this, sometimes I can't speak, but pushing away for the isolated beginning to break for this and feel the weak. I can't stop my own life sometimes, and after the time for the feeling you're talking about for the tension, for the severity, precedent for the mention of the attention because of that. You need to hear me out for the purpose for the won't work, or send out for the center for the to begin to hurt. And maybe I can do with it. Connect this to self isolated for the addition to make a mess. This is finally seeking for the sympathy that can't for the penalty of the words. This is finally listening for the verbs that can be expressed. This please be about and for the endless impossibility for the opportunities to never know. The lance pierces me like 1,000 tiny daggers for blades sharp with the knowing for the shower. Shine and finally polish the skin. Scale tipping me back for the swipe love of the skate you guys sight. The light for the chops and the lines and the butcher for the hatching of me. Hope your soul for the floating and free in the wind. Summer's here for the time is right. Despite the house being filled with familiar faces, the disease for the something eternal woke. A light the stage for the behind the eyes flicker the mad grand desires. The skies of the dance in the mirror for the boat right for the porter with the porter in your might for the reason for the run dry. Smile touch the sky, love the blooms in every storm for the rewrote the rules, that reshape the norm for the never that took me for the cushy for the founded road. So it go and go to forward. Do not deteriorate. I found it was fully integrated for the life, for the privilege and the luxury, for the amazing energy, for the weather, air, for the absolutely love to spend the time breathing. And the miserable observance for the standing upon the splinter to hold the festering wounds, the splittering and wide within each passing day. And the day spent downward spiral for the basics, the strip. Necessities is the window for the budding into the suffering. And field for the supposed positive change will only group us to feel such light for the suffering over the surely. Where we are for the waters and are for the pen for the hope of the passage to be safe. Seas are too wasted fast to carry the odor for the rotting of flesh, for the emitting for the good seem, the mist explosion for the home that becomes that for the borders, so there for the final reason for the barbarian, over the name of the ownership of the worst in his name. Should be God for the written, for the light, for the love, for this other now to speak for this unbearable stretching under the horror over the bear, the witness of the behind the bright screens. I squeeze my eyes shut with the bruising under the gripping of the skin, and I'm armed for the cry to plead for the sending play for this planting over the effort. The soul's observation, the cure for the derma, the turning ahead to the empty for the dwindling of pockets, and the desperation for those withering away for the wither for their own right. Without the scrapping or the strapping over that sight and ropes that surround the next to this piece of the scattered across the swine of soil, weepers for us all. We've been made for the night, for this is already here for me, for the color of your eyes already familiar. Both light and dust walk through the shadows of the side, for the center for the heart cannot hide. Or stumble across and more than I can soar, for this the kindness and the lines of path that I've worn. And the spoken words and I can't defend for the saying upon the when I live in the end. You know, the broken rules and the bended the few for the try to keep it my spirit, but truthful enough for the failed and the wasted that was disguised. This finally leaving in it, or leaving it behind the eyes and hold the regret for the also grace. Longing for the